So today I want to talk about needs versus wants, wants versus needs. It's pretty much similar to any other polarity out there, good versus bad, light versus dark. It's one of those fundamental things that we as humans definitely, I don't see any other animals doing it. Well, I guess my dog doesn't need every cookie I give her, but she definitely wants every cookie I give her. So I'm going to start off with an example of what I'm trying to get at here. So, needs versus wants. So, the other day, I walk into Walmart, and one of the first things I see in the back towards the electronics department is a 98-inch flat screen TV. Now, when you see something like this, especially to me at my age, I see this and I think, wow, man, 10 years ago when I had a 32-inch TV, I thought I was the man. Maybe 15 years ago, but you thought you were the man with that big box. It wasn't a flat screen, it was a box TV, and it weighed 300 pounds, and you thought you were the man because you had the only Sony. But here we are now, and we have a 98-inch TV. And not only is it 98 inches, but it's actually relatively cheap. It was, I believe, $1,500. And you're like, as a man that grew up with like video gaming and high def TV and all that, you want that. You want that. You have to have that thing. I gotta put it in my place, But then you have to ask yourself, do I need it? And obviously the answer is no, I don't need it. In reality, I don't need a TV that's, I would probably say any bigger than 21 to 27 inches. And no, I didn't buy the TV. But like I said, it's just amazing. You have to have the appreciation of how fast we're moving, literally. Like we're gone from, I remember when 65 inch was the big TV. And then I believe 72 came out. But, at a time, 55, we all had 55s and we all thought we were the best. But the thing about needs and wants is that there are plenty of things, all throughout our life. Let's start off with the basics. Like, when you're a kid, you want everything. You don't really know what needs are. You really don't know from we'll say 0 to, almost 18. You really just don't know what you need. You just kind of want things, and the things that are needed to you are usually given to you by your parents, your caregivers, the people that know what you need. So, but you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, in order for me to live a successful life or live a normal life, I have to have a job. I have to have a home with a white picket fence, and I have to have a wife, and I have to have 2 children, and I have to have a dog. And you think that you need all those things, but in reality, you only think that because that's what society tells you you're supposed to do. In reality, you don't need any of those things. Yes, it'd be good for procreation for the planet to keep on evolving, but at the same time, there's plenty of people out there having kids. So not every single person that walks around has to get married. It's not a need. But it's just one example. We go through it, and the problem is that, like I said, we think we need to have those things, but the only reason we think we need to have those things is because society wants us to have those things for the betterment of society, or what they think is the betterment of society. But we just don't need it. Oftentimes, most of the things that you think that you need, if you seriously think about it, and it doesn't even take long, you know that you don't need it. So like me, there was a time where I would have saw that 98-inch TV, and instantly my Discover card would have came out, and that thing would be on my wall right now. But just like every other thing in my past life that I thought that I needed, eventually that thing becomes stagnant. And it just becomes another thing, another useless thing in my house. Yeah, I'll use it, but the shock and awe of having a 90-inch TV is going to wear off after a couple of video game hours, a couple of movies, a couple of months into it. It's just going to be a big picture on your wall. That's all it is. It's like that with so many things. If you think about humanity as a whole, especially, consumerism in America, we literally live in boxes. We get into a box on four wheels. We drive to another box. We go inside that box. We buy other boxes and we bring them home and put them into our box. That's all it is. It's really all it is if you think about it. And then we bring that thing into our box and we've got this new box and we're like, oh, this thing is so awesome. I wanted this so bad. I needed this in my life. And then we play with it for X amount of time. And then next thing you know, you don't notice it for 5 or 6 years. And then you're moving one day and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I thought I needed this thing, We do that in everything in life. We think we need something, but in reality, we want it. We desire it. You can call it whatever you want, whatever the word you want, but I'm just sticking with need and want. I've often thought about having this tattooed on my hands, like on my knuckles, need on one hand, want on the other, because I don't know if it has anything to do with awakening or what, but at some point in the last, I'd say, good 5 or 6 years, something came to me and just said, hey, decide, do you need this or do you want this? And now every decision that I make is based on that. And some people may say, well, that's, too much thinking, that's too much, just go with the flow, or, throw caution to the wind. And you can do that in certain situations. It's not like I ignore my wants. I want an ice cream. I don't need an ice cream, but hey, if it's a nice, beautiful day, I'm going to go have an ice cream. But it's the things that we, I guess, take for granted in a way, because I know plenty of people that are flat broke, but they'll go out and buy a new truck. And then they'll complain months later about the car payments. And it's like, well, brother, if you had just simply sat there on that car lot and said, do I need this or want this? And most of them will tell me, well, I needed it. I needed it for work. I needed it for this. I needed it for that. Okay, but did you need a new one? Could you not have just bought a used truck or a truck that was within your budget? Well, this has this and that and that and this. Yeah, but does it have a truck bed? Can you put stuff in the truck bed? A used truck can do that just as well as a new truck. You see what I'm saying? So we make up excuses for things that we think we need, but we really just want. And we just make up excuses for that. And we do that in everything, And I'm not telling you that you have to do what I do, but it's something to think about. Because if you think just for a few seconds, if you now just look around you right now, wherever you may be, I can guarantee you're going to see an item that you thought you needed to improve your life. But in reality, you just wanted it. And now you probably don't even use it. There are things that I've bought throughout my life. I have things that I have tools. I have one of my favorite pocket knives that at the time I needed it. I bought it about 12 years ago. I still use it to this day. It's one of my favorite knives. And I've actually bought other knives through the years that I thought I needed, but no, I just wanted them because they were cool or whatever they may be. But here I am going back to my Gerber knife that I've had all this time. So maybe I wanted it, but at the same time I needed it, and I got it. I spent good money on it. It's a Gerber. It's a trusted name, and it turned out that way. But there's so many things that even here as I'm recording this, I'm looking around and I'm like, I didn't need that. I didn't need that. I didn't need that. I didn't need this. There's so many things, and I have a small place, but I don't have a lot of stuff. I'm a minimalist, but at the same time, there's things that I have here that have just been sitting there. And some people will say, well, those are mementos and they mean something to you. No, they don't. It's just junk. It's just stuff that I brought home from another box and put in my box. I don't look at any of the stuff. I'm just like everybody else probably has a shelf where you have all these trinkets that remind you of special moments in your life. Well, that's great. But the problem is I haven't looked at any of those things. I walk by them every day. I don't even think twice about them because they're in my past. Yeah, and they're great memories. But in reality, why am I holding on to these things that I think I need to hold on to? I don't need to hold on to anything. I don't need anything. All I need is sleep, food, rest. You need the basic stuff that a human needs to get by, and that's it. No, I'm not saying you should live that way, because you should enjoy things too. So it's okay to want things. But the problem, the overall message I'm getting at is when we think that we need something, the danger comes in is when we think we need something, but in reality, it's just we want that thing. And sometimes people will spend money they don't have, end relationships they shouldn't end. You know, they'll do all kinds of drastic things for these things that they think that they need, that will improve their way of living, but they just don't. They may do it for a time, but they don't. I mean, the biggest example for this is money. You know, we all want money. We don't necessarily need money, depending on how you live. Yes, we need money for some of the common things, but I don't know, even that's up in the air. You know, sometimes I wonder, like, do I really need money? Yeah, if I want to continue driving, I need money. If I want to continue eating, yeah, sort of. Listen, I do homeless outreach. I talk to people that are, you know, way down on their luck and people that are just getting back on their feet. And I find that a lot of the guys that are way down on their luck and have no money to their name, they don't really want much. And they don't really need much. They find other ways, you know. But money is a big thing. Like we all want money. We all crave money. And the reason we crave money is for what? So that we can buy the things that we want or that we may need. But 99% of the time, it's things that we want. I need to make this money so I can buy this house. Why do you need that house? Oh, because I need a bigger house because, you know, we're going to have more kids and stuff. Well, you haven't had more kids yet, so why go out and buy that house if it's too early, you know? I'm not saying wait until the kid is born, but do you really need that new house? Do you really need that new truck? Do you really need that new way of thinking? Do you really need this? Do you really need that? Or do you just want it? And usually when you want something, it's because you want to have one up over whoever is around you. You know, it's envy. It's envy, and envy is dangerous because you're like, okay, well, my neighbor just bought a new truck that he couldn't afford, but now he's the hot shit in the neighborhood, so I have to go buy a bigger and better truck that I can't afford, not because I need it, but because I want to look better than him. So, long story short, take a look at things like what you want and what you need. Because honestly, in my opinion, on this walk, on any spiritual walk, religion, whatever, I mean, even religion, you know, you should come to this conclusion because for me, I'm trying to minimalize my life. I walk more of a Buddhist, Zen Buddhist kind of lifestyle. I try to, at least. And by doing so, I'm starting to realize that I just don't need these things, you know. Every time I think I need something or something that I already have that I need to keep it, there's always all these excuses of why I need it, but in reality, I don't need it. It doesn't need to be there. It's not. I actually have something written on my wall here that says, you know, if it isn't a necessity, rid yourself of it, you know, and it's true. So basically I'm rambling, folks, and what I'm getting at is like, take a look at the things you want and need. You know, every time you're going to go out and buy something, and like I said, don't drill yourself about it. Don't sit there for 20 minutes in the aisle, but just think about it. Just think about it real quick. Your mind will kick in and tell you why you need it or why you want it. And just try that. And do it with everything that you have, like your relationships, everything, because that's the problem. Like we use it in everything, those two polar opposites. We use it in everything. Like, oh, that's the girl for me. That's the girl for me. Is that the girl for you because, you know, she's hot and all your buddies going to think she's hot? And so you want that so you can have that envious point or be one up on somebody? Or is it because you need a woman like that in your life because she's smart? She's highly intelligent. She's good in conversation. She has your back. She offers something that nobody else will be able to offer. Yeah, she looks good. Or maybe by society standards, she doesn't look good. But she offers you all those things that you need in a relationship. Or is it because you just want her in the relationship? It goes on and on and on. And it's just a real quick something that I thought about this morning. So I figured I'd share it. Wants first needs. I mean, do you need that TV or do you want that TV? And listen, like I said, I want it too. But take the time, ask yourself that question. I love you all. Walk in light.
Until next time, my friends, I ask all people everywhere to plant seeds of love, peace, joy, and oneness. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.